Happy Sunday. Welcome to Anne's Family Recipe. I decided that it's halftime during the Steelers game today and we were going to film a live recipe. So my daughter Emma is visiting her grandmother this weekend, so it's just me and my boys, my husband and my 3 sons, so I thought I'd make them a little treat for the second half of the football game today. So I'm making an incredible pumpkin dip recipe. It's from Cooking Light magazine and it's super simple to throw together, so I'm going to show you how to do that today. But first, let me ask, how's everybody's weekend going? We're having a really good, relaxing weekend. I wanted to bring this up because I wanted to specifically mention that last night we went to Chipotle and I tried a burrito bowl for the first time. I only ever get just regular burritos. And the bowl was so good. And I added the grilled fajita veggies, which was such a great addition. What's going on, honey?
No, tell them about the time.
Oh yeah, it took 45 minutes to get our food. I ordered it online and I had to stand outside the restaurant for 45 minutes. So that was not the fun part of the experience, but the food itself was delicious and I just ate the leftovers a little bit earlier. So now I'm ready to make some pumpkin dip. Now this, like I said, is from Cooking Light. So I am starting with this, I'm gonna butcher this pronunciation. I was gonna say, don't judge me on this. Neufchâtel. It's the third less fat cream cheese. So typically, if I'm being honest, if I'm making a dip for a party, I'm gonna use full fat cream cheese, definitely. But if I'm making a dip for a party, I'm sharing it with other people. Now today, it's basically just gonna be me eating this dip because my kids aren't gonna have too much of it. So I thought, okay, I'll go with the third of fat cream cheese. Now this has been sitting out on my counter for a good couple hours at least. And you don't use a whole brick. I'm gonna use 6 ounces. And the nice thing is, I mean, that's almost the whole brick. It's gonna be about to here. But you can see on the packaging, it's kind of like a stick of butter where there's little lines along the side of the packaging. So if I cut the brick right here, it'll be exactly 6 ounces. And I can save the rest for something else, probably for my son Jack, who loves to eat toasted bagels for breakfast, particularly with cream cheese and everything but the bagel seasoning. I don't know if you've ever had that before. They sell that at Trader Joe's and you can get it at Aldi, even Walmart I think, but it's like sesame seeds. It's kind of like an everything bagel. So sesame seeds, poppy seeds, onion, garlic, and salt. It's so good. Nice and savory. But back to my sweet dip. I've got my cream cheese. I'm going to add 1/2 cup of light brown sugar here. So I'll pack that in and add it into my bowl. And then the next thing we're adding is the pumpkin puree. Now, Sean, can you come over here real quick? I want to show them these bars that I made last night. So if you follow me on Instagram at Anne's Family Recipe, you may have seen that I made these pumpkin chocolate chip squares last night. They are so incredibly delicious. It's Martha Stewart Everyday Food magazine. I've been making these for at least 15 years, if not longer. There's a recipe video for this on my channel, so after this is over, I'm going to link to that down below because they are so good. But it doesn't use an entire can of pumpkin puree. So over here, I have some leftover, which works out perfectly for my pumpkin dip. So I need 1/2 cup of the pumpkin puree as well. And just as a note, this is straight up pumpkin. It's not the pumpkin pie filling, so there's no additional seasonings or sweetness to this. I have to ask, I don't even know, is anybody there? Are there some people there? Hey, welcome! I was gonna ask, are you struggling to get pumpkin puree? Because, you know, months ago it was toilet paper and Clorox wipes, and now it's pumpkin puree. Can you believe it? But I finally found it at Aldi, which I have to tell you is the best deal. It's 85 cents a can, and it's super delicious. So if you can find it at Aldi, which I did, get your limit of 4, which I did. They're in my pantry, and I'm gonna go back every week when I grocery shop and get 4 more because I love stocking up on pumpkin puree. Okay, so that's going in the bowl, and we're gonna season this up a little bit in a minute, but first we're gonna blend this together with my electric hand mixer over here. Can you see everything okay? I'm just gonna push that back a little bit. So we'll get this going. I wanted to soften the cream cheese a lot just so it won't take too long to incorporate, and you don't have to listen to my mixer for too long, but here we go.
Okay. Angelique says, I finally got 6 cans from Publix. The perks of dating the store manager. LOL.
Oh, hot tip. That's awesome. Yeah, I was surprised because usually, you know, everything seasonal shows up a month in advance, right? Whether it's decor or food items, and there was no pumpkin on the shelves of my stores for so long until I think last week when I went shopping. So I just like took as many as I could off the shelf because I love baking with pumpkin. I typically use it in sweet dishes, but it's also really good in savory dishes too. You can incorporate it into a pasta sauce with like sage and brown butter. That is so incredible. Okay, so we're going to sweeten this dip up a little bit more with, actually, let me check out my measuring spoons.
Angelique also says haven't been able to find it anywhere.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's rare these days. I just want to make sure I'm using my measuring spoons in the correct order. Okay, we're good. So I'm using 2 teaspoons of pure maple syrup. I always want to do my dry ingredients first before the wet in the measuring spoons, just so nothing sticks, but I have a different spoon for my pumpkin pie spice. So there's 1 teaspoon and 2, a little more than 2. And then I'm using this pumpkin pie spice. The original recipe just calls for ground cinnamon, which you can totally do, but I make my own homemade pumpkin pie spice, and it smells awesome. I just popped the lid off. I haven't really used it yet except for my pumpkin pie bars, or they're not pumpkin pie bars, but the pumpkin chocolate chip bars last night, and this is one of my favorite ingredients to cook with. It's really good in like breakfast dishes, homemade oatmeal, kind of breakfast cookie types of things, but it's a combo of cinnamon, nutmeg, ground cloves, allspice, and ginger. So I have all those things in my pantry in case I need them for other recipes, but when you mix them together, it's this perfect pumpkin pie spice. And I'm using a half a teaspoon of this, so I'm going to sprinkle that in. And just like those pumpkin chocolate chip squares, I made this pumpkin pie spice in a video before too. So once again, when this is over, I will link that below for you too. So I think that's it. Let me double check over my shoulder here, sorry. We have cream cheese, brown sugar, canned pumpkin, maple syrup, ground cinnamon. Oh, and then we're gonna serve this with green apple slices and graham crackers, which I have set up behind me. So let me mix this all together and then we'll test it out. That should be good. If you took a little extra time, I'm sure you could get some of those lumps out of there, but I'm not gonna do that today. So ideally what you would do now is cover this and then refrigerate it for like 20 or 30 minutes just so it kind of sets up a little bit. But there is no harm at all in taste testing it right now. So let me grab my apples behind me. I'm gonna slice up green apples today. My son Benjamin absolutely loves these. And it's so funny because he says, I love them because they're so sweet. And I think he's trying to say sour because, of course, they're not very sweet, but it goes well with a sweet kind of dip. And then, well, I'll put them on my plate in a second. I've got my graham crackers behind me. Oh, and Sean is stealing mine to snack on. Are you going to try the dip? Let me know how it goes. You might hear some crunching in the background while I'm chopping. Oh, I'm not loving the interior of this apple. Hold on. Let's try a different apple. Is it good? Okay, I got the A-OK from the husband. So that's good. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I have another video to link below for you. I made a different pumpkin dip maybe last year for one of my son's fall birthday parties. And it was a little bit fluffier. It was Cool Whip and vanilla pudding based. And this one, of course, is cream cheese. So I think it's going to be a little bit creamier. But I'll link that for you below too. You can maybe try them both out, see which one you like the best. My other apple was like gray in the middle. We're not going to use that. So I'm cutting up a different one here. I just got a few slices going. And I'm using my favorite knife ever. It's purple, my favorite color, and it's Kuhn Rikon brand. They're really inexpensive. This is less than $10, I think. And FYI, I made an Amazon storefront, which is like what the cool kids do who have YouTube channels, so I think. But basically, I linked all of my favorite kitchen gadgets that you can find on Amazon in my storefront. So I'll link that below too when I'm done streaming this because there's some great gadgets listed of all price ranges, but this knife is one of my favorite things. And it's just so fun to open my drawer and see something that's my favorite color that I can use when I'm cooking. Okay, my apples are ready. I'm just gonna cut up a few and I'm gonna try this out because it smells super pumpkin-y and delicious. Oh yeah, it's definitely a different consistency than the other dip, but I'm sure it's gonna taste awesome. Ready? Oh. Oh yeah. Oh, definitely a different flavor than that other dip too. I love that maple syrup. Thank you for the close-up shot. Okay, I'm not double dipping, I'm flipping. It's super good. It's not too pumpkin-y. It's more of that pumpkin spice flavor. All those warm spices of fall time. Love it, love it. Really good with the green apple because you have that contrast between the sweet and the sour. Also, you get the crunch too. Now, I have some just plain honey graham crackers for my kids, but this would also be really good with the cinnamon graham crackers and probably even chocolate graham crackers. Chocolate and pumpkin are a great flavor combination. So anything that you want to try, let me know in the comments below if you try this dip out and what dippers you like to use. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Instagram, I'm still chewing here, on Evian's Family Recipe. And give this video a thumbs up if you liked my pumpkin dip recipe today. Thank you so much for joining me here in my kitchen, and I'll see you again soon.